Welcome back, Design and Analysis students. This is Dr. Ginger Wickline again. And this morning we are going to be looking at how to do a recode in SPSS. There are times when you want to change the data from a form that you have into something slightly different. So for example, if you had started out with a ratio variable, let's say something like age, which asks people what age are you, which could be anywhere from 0 to 100 and something, and you wanted to divide it down into different concepts, all right, or constructs. So instead of a ratio variable, you wanted to have nominal, maybe under 18, 19 to 20, 21 to 22, or different size blocks. If you wanted to change from ratio to nominal or ratio to ordinal, you would need to use Recode. The other place that you might use Recode is if you wanted to reverse score items. So if you had some items on a test that were scored from 1 to 5 or positively worded, and some were scored from 1 to 5, but they were negatively worded. So they're kind of at opposites, and you need to flip the script on some of them so that they line up with the other items. You might need to reverse score or reverse code some of the items and change the 1s into 5s, the 2s into 4s, the 3 stays the same, 4 goes to 2, and 5 goes to 1. That way, when you add up all the items together into a total, you're getting a consistent number that some of the items aren't canceling each other out. So you can get a sum score. So again, we're going to look at recoding for changing from different forms of data, say from ratio to nominal, and then later in the semester we'll look at using Recode in order to reverse score items for measures. If you want to recode your data, you want to go to Transform and recode into different variables. It's important that you recode it into something different so that you are not messing with the original data that the people gave you in the survey. In this case, we actually are going to look at age. And so I take the variable that I want and double click it or highlight it and use the arrow to put it in here. And we're going to say for that variable, and you could do more than one at once if you're recoding them the same way, we want to change it into what? So over here in the output variable, maybe you put age 2. So you know the original variable has something to do with age, and you're doing a second version. Then click change, and it will record that you want to change it from this thing into that thing. We then want to go to old new values and tell it change into what? So let's say in this first example that you want to take the old values and change it from a continuous thing into a category. Maybe we're interested in our data set in knowing anyone in the younger ages up through age, let's say 22. And if we have those younger folks, we want to make those a 1 and add it. And then we could say anybody who put 22.001, maybe 22 and a half, we don't want to miss them. So these are now our older students, and we want to make those a 2. So we add that to our list. So it's saying younger folks, turn it into 1. We're going to call that younger. And above 22, we're going to call that older. Once we click continue and OK, it will show us our syntax of what it did. It did not give us an error message, so we didn't do something wrong. And we can go back in and look at the data set and come over to the end, and we'll see that new variable. Okay. Right. We may also want to make sure in our variable view that we've set up labels for that. We want to come to the new value and tell it, hey, this is now a nominal variable, that's okay, but we want to make sure we know that those 1s in our value labels now are younger, and the 2s in our group now are older students. So again, we can use value labels to help have SPSS translate math to English for us. So when we click OK and go back to the data,